All right. So Miss AOC here has decided and will continue to obsess over the term Latinx, even though most Hispanics hate the term Latinx. And there's polling that indicates it over and over and over and over and over again. But Miss AOC here, super genius over here, decides to get mad at other Democrats who are refusing to use the term Latinx. Even though most Latinos hate it, as I do, and as most Latinos that I know, very few actually like the term Latinx. In fact, most of them cannot stand it, and includes me. I cannot stand the term Latinx. It's insulting. It doesn't understand how the Spanish language works at all. It's just a miserable failure all the way through. But AOC is gonna do a little rant here, which I want to play because it's rather, it's interesting. She goes onto a whole rant about if you don't want to use Latinx, then there's these other gender neutral terms that you can use that are also a lot more inclusive than Latinx. Hey Alex, sweetheart, keep it very simple for you. There's already a gender neutral term for Hispanics. It's called Latino. That's a gender neutral term. That's why we always call the Latino community, because it's a gender neutral term. You don't need to make up a new gender neutral term out of your anus that doesn't matter. You don't need to make it up. It's right there, Latino. Just use that, and I'm fine with it. And most Latino community are fine with that. Don't use Latinx or Latini or whatever other word she uses here. Trust me, she's gonna come up with some new ones here. She's gonna sound like an overeducated white person here, a college-educated white person who doesn't understand the Spanish language at all. That's the key word, because whoever came up with the term Latinx doesn't understand the Spanish language at all. It's just a gender. It's just a virtue signal. It's like, okay, well, Latino is male, Latina is female, so we have to come up with a new gender neutral term and stick it on the Latino community and expect them to use it. That's what's going on here. And AOC, doing the bidding of the white man, decides, yep, I'm going to say Latinx because that's what they want. I'm a good little girl. I'm a good little Democrat, so that's what I'm going to do. Even though, like I said, there is a gender neutral term, is Latino, which is why these people fundamentally misunderstand Spanish language. That's just simple facts. We already have a gender neutral term we use, which is Latino. There's no reason to make up a new one. But AOC is going to insist on everybody using Latinx, even though most Latinos hate it. So let's check out It's a couple minutes long, so let's
Also in the spirit of
stop that. Okay. So let's check this out real quick, and I'll come back afterwards.
Also in the spirit of pride, I wanted to have a note on gender inclusivity in Spanish language. People sometimes like to make a lot of drama over the term Latinx, but even before Latinx,
People sometimes like to make a big deal out of terms like Latinx. She sounds like one of these dumb blonde white women. That's what she sounds like there. It's like, what the hell was that?
people were trying to do this like use an at to have the A and the
Mhm.
O together. Gender is fluid, language is fluid, and I think people right now are using the E term as gender.
What is that? What is Latin? The at term here. What the fuck is that? That's not a thing. That's an overeducated college professor, coming up with new ways to be gender neutral, even though there's already a fucking gender neutral term in Spanish. But let's keep going.
Gender neutral in order to be as inclusive as possible. Don't have to make drama over it. I also have a mini rant about this because there are some politicians, including Democratic politicians, that rail against the term
Why? Why does she always do that? She always does this, with her angles and stuff. Like, stop doing that. I don't need to see a close up of your face.
Latinx. And they're like, this is so bad. This is so bad for the party, like, blah, blah, blah. And like, it's almost as though it has not struck some of these folks that another person's identity is not about your reelection prospects. Like, this is not about you. Second of all, if
No, but it's about you, right? Right, Alex? It's always about you. I mean, that's why you're making this mini rant, because you're mad at people for not using the term Latinx. So you're making it about yourself, as usual.
putting a little X on your campaign literature is what you think is the difference between winning or losing an election, you need to talk about healthcare more. You need to raise people's wages. You need to talk about more issues that also matter to people.
Why don't you take your own advice, Alex? I mean, seriously, take your own advice and talk about the real issues out there. Don't obsess with whether your colleagues in the Democratic Party use the term Latinx or Latini or Latino. Who gives a shit? Why are you not talking about Medicare for all? Why are you not talking about UBI or Social Security for all? Why are you not talking about all the important issues that matter? Why are you not talking about Ukraine? The fact we're giving tens of billions of dollars to those fuckers while we're getting fucked with higher gas prices and higher food prices and food shortages and etc. Why are you not talking about that? Instead, you're obsessing with your Democratic colleagues using the term Latinx and make sure they use the right term, even though nobody in the Latino community likes the shit. We all hate it. Only like 3% Latinos use the term Latinx. It's embarrassing. You're ranting about this.
That being said, why are people opting for trying to use Latine over Latinx? Well, Latinx can be convenient in written form because you just put down an X and people can kind of mentally put in whatever vowel they identify with. But it's kind of hard to
What the fuck is that? Whatever vowel they identify with, what the hell does that mean? I don't understand what that means. It's like whatever vowel they identify with is like no. There's already a gender neutral vowel. Oh, Alex. Oh, you know that. You're a native Spanish speaker. You know that Latino is gender neutral term. You know that. You have to know that. If you don't know that, then I can't imagine you not knowing that. I just can't. It's a gender neutral term. Oh, Latino. Fuck.
say. So Latine, you avoid the masculine O, you avoid the feminine A.
No.
Latine
No. It's not a masculine O. Yes, the O is masculine in Spanish, but that's also the gender neutral term. Oh, Latino. That's the gender neutral term also. It could be two things at once at the same time. You know that. You have to know that. You're just being a classic fucking politician here.
E is a little more neutral, so it can be more inclusive to people. For example, saying nosotres. That being said,
Who says nosotros? Who said that? Who says that? Nobody in the Latino community uses the term nosotros. It's nosotros. I mean, we already use what the fuck. She's a native speaker. That's the embarrassing part. I assume she is. I mean, she has to be, unless her parents never taught her Spanish. That's the only way it makes sense. Dumbass, man.
if you don't want to use it, no one's forcing you to. But for people who enjoy trying to figure out language and have it meet the modern
What the
age,
fuck you talking about? And why are you saying? Why are you making this whole rant then? If you're not you don't want to force anybody to use a term. Like what the? I mean, if you don't want to use it, then don't use it. Then why the hell are you making this rant video, and talking about how great you are and how Latinx is awesome and all this shit? No, bullshit. Latinx fucking sucks. It should not be used. It's not a thing. It's never going to be a thing in Latino community. So why are you bothering using the term Latinx? I don't know. It can't be for political reasons because nobody gonna vote for you based off the fact that there's like using Latinx over Latino. No one's gonna vote for you over that, sweetheart. So yeah, that's my rant on that because AOC still insists on using the term Latinx even though nobody gives a fuck. That's my little rant on that. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Give me a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which is coming out whenever I feel like it. I don't even know. I'm so pissed off right now at this fucking woman. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Peace out.